This sapling, I was noticing it's bent. It's not broken. It has a crack in it, but it's literally bent. And it's different than a regular arch. It's got Mama written all over it for some reason.
Well, it has been a minute since we have been back in this area. We have waited all summer long for hell's fire and brimstone to finally subside and get cool enough to want to be out here in the woods. I think we finally got the perfect day for it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit overcast, about 78 degrees. Doesn't get any better than that right now.
Nope.
Well, if you don't know where we are over at Junior's Log. We have got a little bit of treats and stuff to leave here at this place today. Got him some moon pies and peanut butter, sardines and popcorn, a few little trinkets with some eggs and a bag of almonds, a bag of hot spicy peanuts, a couple of pears, another bag of popcorn, and some peanut butter. So we're going to leave those here and see what happens in this location. Finding a few little residuals laying around from a long time ago.
We had put it was an entire gold egg. This is only half in the log here. What, last Easter?
It's been a minute.
I'm going to leave it right there. I don't know what they did with the other half, but
let me see if I can fish this out of my pocket, because I'm going to leave something here. Not something we have been doing, at least not for quite some time, but I'm going to leave it here tonight and check it out tomorrow and see what it has captured, if anything. But if you're not familiar with that, that's a voice recorder. I've got a little plastic stud on this tree that I'm going to hang it up on. Let's see. All right, everything's working good on it. Hit record. That should give us about 18 to 20 hours with brand new batteries in it. I'm going to leave that right there, and we'll come back and check it out tomorrow.
Yep, it's wide out in the open so they know it's there.
I am seeing a few little residual things on the ground from long ago. We probably need to clean that up as we walk through.
It always amazes me because we don't see them from walk to walk, just...
Not sure what that is.
I don't know. Looks like old, it's been buried. Old duct tape. Floodwaters probably finally let it surface.
Now, they have been a lot more vocal over the last week since that heat wave cleared out of here. Nighttime, you can sit outside and hear them off in the distance. Has that been built up anymore? You see the structure there, or is it like it was before?
I need to get up to it, I think. Although I don't remember this. It's a one big limb with several glyphs on it and around it, and we haven't had any storms or anything, so. Time will do its part.
Just kind of taking it all in for a second, see if my eyes spot anything out of the ordinary. I think I got something over here on this side.
You know, this structure, I can't really tell you, but I'm noticing all the glyph work around the base of it. Excuse me.
Can't tell if that's a peanut butter jar or one of the jars we had those peanut butter pretzels in, or...
We'll look and see. We should be able to tell. I think it's a peanut butter jar because the lid is way over here.
Okay.
You know, a long time ago, they walked us up and showed us whose area was whose. And I feel like this was
Grab a
Lily's.
handful and one goes to this spot.
Yeah,
and one
I feel
goes
like
to
this
that
was
spot.
Lily's and Took's. So I'll clean up some of this as we go.
So just kind of taking it all in right now because it's been a minute since we've been way back over on this side.
This is a seat. Some people call them perches. They've always referred to them as seats, but I don't think it much matters.
Now we'll go around this side of it. That kind of brings me up to something I wanted to try to get some volunteers on. If anybody's willing to do an experiment on their own and kind of share and report back what you have happen or not happen. But if you've got access to some woods or kind of a out of the way location where you can go out, take a folding chair, lawn chair, whatever, and try to do it about the last hour of daylight, and be brave enough to make yourself stay out there at least 20-30 minutes after dark. You want to hit that twilight time, that sweet spot of twilight where it's changing from day to night. And if you've got a book about Bigfoot or cryptids, or you can find a podcast to listen to or something, the goal is to have your energy and your thoughts and your mind focused on the big guys.
I would recommend trying to keep it as positive as possible to draw what I refer to as the higher of these beings.
And just see what kind of
got
things transpire during that time frame. Maybe set out your own little voice recorder, or keep your phone or camera handy. And it looks like Junior's been playing with the plastic bottles again.
This sapling, I was noticing it's bent. It's not broken. It has a crack in it, but it's literally bent. And it's different than a regular arch. It's got Mama written all over it for some reason.
Trying to guesstimate. Let's see, 6, 12.
I believe she's about 8, 9, if I have the information correct.
Well, the break up there, I'm standing next to the tree, that's double, plus another 3 or 4 foot. 15 foot up is where that break is.
Well, any of them could feasibly walk through here.
But back to that little experiment, if you can do that, share with me what you find, or if you have any encounters, or if you hear any strange knocks or whoops or anything like that, and we'll report them the next time around after we get a little bit of feedback from you.
And it's, based on our own experience, I can't speak for everyone, but depending on how much research you've already done on your own and so on, sometimes it's a work in progress. Sometimes you start with that little breadcrumb, and then when they feel and find that commitment within you, that natural curiosity, I believe they respond to that and bring more. But it might be picking a day a week or every other week or something like this to be consistent with them.
All of this all started with us after we realized there was at least a few of them in the area.
Oh, we had no idea, I can promise.
But we started just taking a string and hanging an apple on a string, like, say, this limb right here. Just dangle an apple, so far down. So that's how it all started and evolved into what it is.
Almost forgot the bucket of all-important snacks.
Well,
I'm getting in trouble.
I'm sure they'd find it.
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
But the main goal with that is just to focus your energy and get connected energetically. What are you seeing?
Right in front of you now. I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying, but you see this triangle? It's almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a line between, which I think is significant. and an open end, which I also find to be significant. In certain cultures, you could say that it represents body, mind, and spirit. You could say, call it heaven, earth, and the lower realms. There's a lot of significance to the triangle.
Well, on a more physical note, look right beyond at the point of that on the ground, another twisted around plastic jug, another junior signature trademark.
And I think even the dead limbs are significant. This one's fascinating. We have 2 live arches. So I think they can see it easily, but it's like twin arches. Great big Y stick here. I'm trying to discern what this is, but I've got, call them the bumps. So energetically, it's very alive, very active, smash flat. At the moment, I'm not really seeing feet, but the pines are shedding quickly, so if there are any, they could be covered. Beautiful. This one's unique.
Another bottle. He is a collector of bottles.
Loves bottles. That's been a thing since we've met him. But even this one, which is interesting because it's not, there's a sapling here that's pinned off of that long limb. And there's a sapling here that's pinned off of a separate limb. This one speaks highly of the babies. Each structure seems to be designed or constructive to the individual or individuals that it's built for. Like, I don't think that Mama would try to use one that's built for the babies.
I was seeing something that looked like a silhouette back there, but I can't tell in the monitor what I'm seeing.
Would not surprise me. Usually they are sitting patiently waiting for us to drop off the goodies and then patiently waiting for us to get out of the way so they can indulge. Doesn't feel real rushed today, but last time we brought treats to this particular location, it kind of felt like, come on already, come on already.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's not good at all. We don't own a 40 Smith & Wesson. It's been in the weather for a minute, but that bothers me. So we're going to pick that up. You know, when we change locations, we come over here when we feel the nudge, I guess you could say. But it all felt very much like it was about safety. And I do believe that they still kind of go back and forth. Although, as active as they've been where we currently reside, I don't know how much. And I was picking up that one of the boys was at Davi, and his mate are still actively residing in this space, like kind of holding the space is the way that I get it.
We have got a long hike to get to another spot that we need to revisit. We haven't been back to in a while, so I'm going to cut this right here, and we'll see you in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it never happens when you have the camera on.
Sneaky buggers.
Well, we're going to venture back into the land of the elementals.
Mm. Well, this is our peanuts area too, so.
Oh, there's some wild, twisted, weird-looking stuff going on back here. It's just cool because you find this kind of stuff everywhere, and those twisted vine limbs to make walking sticks and stuff. This is the perfect area for it. Hold still. Come on, focus. Can't get it to focus past those limbs in front of it.
What in the world?
I hear him squeaking.
Mm-hmm. There is one long call. And
About 300 yards back. Maybe it'll clear a little bit up here to get a better shot.
we found a lot of times they're sitting right along the trail we're walking. In their essence, as you might have heard us call it, completely cloaked. And you go back on the video and they're just boom right there. It's like, how did we not run into them? Or we've often said that we think that our trips are guided, if you will, to where they want us to go or not go.
You get a feeling or a nudge to go off to the left or to the right or whichever direction. It always seems to find something interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to look ahead and look down at my feet while I walk at the same time with all these pine needles and stuff. It's perfect copperhead time.
Not quite cold enough for them to hibernate. Now this area over here was where that gigantic rabbit was going into. And ironically, we've only been back there one time when that huge, we don't know if it was an angel, if it was a ghost, but it was a huge white and distinct being. Come on, babies.
if it's an advantage or not, but the breeze is right in our face right now, so.
I'm not complaining.
Well, you know, I had wondered why they had abandoned that structure late last year around those, between the two gifting trees back there by the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know. Look at this in front of us. It's getting built up.
And we do find there's another one to your right. We do find that they're scattered intermittently. And I believe that's based on, let's say today we're walking down that way or up this way.
And it looks like more limbs have been brought around to put up on it.
Yeah. Don't feel like it's finished.
I have to keep an eye on that one.
And another bottle.
And another bottle.
He doesn't break them. Sometimes the plastic ones, he'll squitter.
He'll crunch them and twist them. Come on, boys and girls, where are you?
I feel like I just heard someone say, watch where you're walking. So we'll try to keep it straight on the path if we can.
A little hard to see that when it's all covered in pine straw.
Yeah. We'll do the best we can. There's the mount.
And there went the crow.
I wonder if Lily's bear is still up there.
I think we got a little bit of stuff left in the bucket, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Let's leave it back here.
Okay. We can do that. And the whole watch where you're walking could easily have been involving elementals also, because this is a really active area for them.
Yeah, this is a location that definitely needs a lawn chair or a stump and just about 3 hours to sit quiet and watch and listen.
Is something whistling?
Yeah, I hear the whistling too.
Okay.
Not sure what direction it's coming from though, because first I thought it was behind me, and then it sounds like it's over to the left of me.
So with the pine straw, it's really hard to see the imprints on the regular ground, but in this moss, I don't know if you can see this. There's the heel. It's about that wide. And I feel like I'm seeing the toes up here. And it's pretty good width. I can always be wrong, but I find it interesting when something can leave that kind of impression in moss. Has to be kind of weighty.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see a peanut butter jar. And looks like some kind of a bag laying over there.
There's some stuff over here to your left that they brought up from back there.
And something over there.
And that's pretty well what they do. They each pick a spot so many feet out.
Well,
Not sure if they flip a coin or how they decide who gets what, but
if you want to set that stuff on the log, I'm going to look at this over here and figure out what I'm seeing. Cracker Jacks. All right. Huh. I have not seen that in a long time. That's part of that feed sack.
I have a lot to pick up here.
Yeah, we got a lid and some wrappers. And I found a Cracker Jack bag.
We always find that they peel the labels off the peanut butter jars and the cans, but I never see where the labels go. I can't imagine that the labels would have flavor, but I'm wearing your sardines
And
here.
over there on the ground, there's a big chunk of that white, like burlap, the feed sack that we found. Good God, what's it been, a year and a half ago, hanging in that tree?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably from here where we found it originally is a little over 3. No, it's farther than that. It's probably a good 800 yards away from here.
Well, whomever preferred these, that was the little links. Labels peeled. I've got a little more to put out. I was making a little extra noise trying to, in the strawberry bar.
Well, there's a
And sunflower seeds.
Cracker Jack bag to add to the pile.
Yeah, I got a lot of trash here. But usually,
most of this woods at night, I don't mind going into. Pretty much 90% of it, we could sit out here all night and it wouldn't bother me. But something about this little spot back in here, once it's after 8, 9 o'clock, I don't want any part of it.
yeah, we haven't really tried to frequent this area. But the nursery's not far from here. There's a lot of elemental activity up in here. Some people would say elementals. Oh yeah, elementals. And they can mess you up if you're not respectful and very, very careful. Of course, the family can too, but they seem to be a little more understanding.
Yeah, and you see little miniature figures about 18 to 24 inches tall go skittering across the woods and just walk into a tree and disappear.
It's odd.
That's what we're talking about.
It's a little odd. Okay, just about got it. Hopefully we've got enough for everybody. Normally they always emphasize to take care of the babies.
I hope so. We've got more peanut butter cups, moon pies, pears, sardines, peanuts, pears, peanut butter, sardines, moon pies, popcorn, pears, quail eggs, peanut butter, quail
Peppermints.
eggs, peppermints, almonds, granola mix, more
Yeah.
sardines, more pears.
Those almonds are unflavored. They're not salted. They're just a whole almond. They got the big bag back here. We left the little bag at Junior's spot.
We got a few more things to grab up. There's a can there and a peanut butter jar over there.
And I squished my feather. That's all right. It'll be all right. But we're going to leave that for them too. They're always leaving us trinkets, so. And I apologize if you guys were hearing racket while I was starting to put this out.
Clanking in the bucket.
I was trying not to.
As long as you're not kicking the bucket, we're good.
I've got 2 rocks. Do you want me to clack them?
I didn't realize they were there. Yeah, go for it and see if anybody responds.
They had brought these back. They've kind of slid and moved a little bit. These are a little different than the ones up there. These are limestone, I think. Okay, babies. Let's see if I can get my fingers.
There you go.
So there's some at the log for you, babies.
Did you break it?
Just a little piece off that one. It'll be all right.
I hear a whoop over there, a little faint one.
And back here behind me. Grab this peanut butter jar. Somebody must have dibs on the big jars of peanut butter because we always find them by themselves. Like, that's all I want. You guys can have the rest. Look at this big flat. Although this is old.
I'll be curious to see how that structure evolves over the next month or two.
Yeah. And as is usually the case, our penis area is well cloaked, which is another fascinating subject because they can totally hide
Block off an area.
Yeah.
Like,
a whole area. And it really doesn't matter if you've been there a number of times. You will not find it. I think it's brilliant.
I think my body is just so relieved to have that god-awful heat over and done with. It's just decompression mode right now.
Yeah, I hope the rest of the country's getting relief too.
feel really good, but at the same time, it's kind of like a Cheerio floating on milk. I could care less about much of anything other than just float along.
And I personally want to thank those that took the time to really, really view the videos and enlarge and find a lot of the goodies. Sometimes by the time we're a portion through it, it can be hours of, editing, and I think we miss a certain amount. Other portions we see, but for those that can't see, we try not to be, what's the word I want, too invasive with.
Well, personally, I think it's more fun when other people spot something and point it out to us. A lot of times, by the time we get done walking through the woods and I put this together to put up onto the channel, I just kind of skip through it and skim through it, and I'll hit the highlights. If I see something blatant that I notice, I'll point it out.
Well, I know from personal experience, I had to kind of stop viewing that much of it because, my eyes would just, it was like sensory overload. I'm sure portions of it may have been pareidolia, but other portions of it, I absolutely know for a fact were not.
Well, the camera never blinks and it never turns its head if, we're talking between ourselves and kind of looking left and right and up and down and wherever. And a lot of times it'll see something that our eye will miss in just that split second.
And we have seen, energies run through. Usually it's the babies or younger of these. And they are so fast, it's like a puff of smoke. And it's really, really, really difficult to slow things down to that degree. We tried it on one of my videos and it was just difficult at best.
Well, let us get on up here across the swampy bottom and we'll pick this up in a second. Well, you've probably been wondering why we didn't go to our 2 regular gifting areas today, and I wasn't gonna bring this up at first because I put something out up there and I wanted to see if it captured anything before I brought it up, but I think I'll go ahead and tell you about it beforehand. I've had Lumpy sitting here standing guard.
I was just thinking, you know who we haven't seen? Lumpy.
He's been keeping an eye on the trail for me.
Guard turtles. Now that's funny.
Say hi to everybody, Lumpy.
If we don't see Lumpy, it's not a complete trip.
I'm going to go up here and retrieve this, and if there's anything on it, I'll let you know. If there's nothing on it, I'll let you know. Now, of course, you know where you are now.
Yep.
And this thing has no audio capability whatsoever on it, so it's just visual only. So we will take that back to the house and I'll look it over and see if anything's on there.
And all of these things we put out in the open now, or we make sure they're able to see easily.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up for the day. I'll come out tomorrow sometime and grab that voice recorder, and then I've got to sit and listen to all that and see if there's anything on it that's any account cool, interesting, fun, or otherwise. Appreciate y'all tagging along, and we'll see you next time down the trail. Thanks.
Bye-bye.